Introduction: Rising from the Embers of History, the Spartacus Uprising. In the pages of history, there are chapters that stand as vivid reminders of human endurance, valor, and the unbreakable yearning for freedom. Among these stories, the narrative of the Spartacus uprising shines with a brilliance that spans centuries. It's a tale of a man whose name became a symbol of resistance, a movement that ignited sparks of hope amidst the darkness of oppression, and a legacy that continues to inspire the fight for justice and equality. Chapter 1: Shadows of Slavery. In the heart of ancient Rome, a society flourished on the backs of countless slaves. These men, women, and children were not just victims of an unequal system. They were the forgotten voices of a civilization that reveled in its grandeur while neglecting the cries of the oppressed. Among these souls was a man named Spartacus, whose journey would reshape the course of human history. Chapter 2: The Ember of Defiance. Spartacus, though bound by chains and servitude, carried within him an ember of defiance. It flickered with the dreams of liberation, flickered with the belief that the sun should shine on all faces, regardless of their station in life. This ember was nurtured by the knowledge that the pursuit of freedom was not a solitary endeavor. It was a collective aspiration that would transform him from a slave to a leader of men. Chapter 3: The Blaze of Revolution. With the embers of defiance fanned into flames of revolution, Spartacus and his companions embarked on a perilous journey. Their escape from captivity was not just a physical flight, but a symbolic break from the chains that had bound their spirits. Their path, though fraught with danger, led to the realization that freedom was not a privilege to be bestowed, but a right to be claimed. Chapter 4: The Call to Arms. As news of Spartacus' uprising spread, his banner of hope began to gather those who dared to challenge the status quo. The call to arms was not just a rallying cry against oppression, it was a call to reclaim one's humanity. Spartacus stood not as a commander, but as a symbol of the human spirit's unyielding quest for dignity. Chapter 5: Echoes of Battle. The clash of swords, the thunder of hooves, and the cries of battle echoed through the annals of time. Spartacus and his followers were not just warriors, they were torchbearers of a new dawn. Their battles were not just fought with steel, they were fought with conviction and a vision of a world where the chains of oppression would crumble and be replaced with the bonds of brotherhood. Chapter 6: A Message Transcending Time. Spartacus' struggle resonated far beyond the boundaries of his era. His story carried a message that transcended time, a message that oppression could be challenged, that hope could thrive even in the darkest of hours, and that the human spirit, once ignited, could blaze a trail towards a better future. Chapter 7: The Legacy. Though the uprising met its end, its legacy endured. The tale of Spartacus became an indelible mark on the canvas of history, a reminder that the fight for justice is not always won on the battlefield, but in the hearts and minds of those who refuse to be subjugated. Spartacus left behind not just a memory, but a legacy of courage that continues to inspire those who strive for a world where all are free to chase their dreams, unburdened by the chains of inequality. In the following chapters, we will delve into the details of this remarkable journey, a journey of a man who transformed from a slave into a leader, a movement that challenged an empire, and a fire that still burns in the hearts of those who believe in the power of human dignity and the pursuit of freedom.
Chapter 1: A brave warrior named Spartacus. In the sprawling city of Rome, where grandeur and opulence danced alongside suffering and inequality, lived a man named Spartacus. Born into the shadows of servitude, his very existence was a testament to the harsh realities of his time. But within his soul burned a fire that refused to be extinguished, the fire of a warrior's spirit, a spirit that would one day set the course of history ablaze. Spartacus, despite being confined by the shackles of slavery, possessed qualities that set him apart. His physique bore witness to a life of labor, yet it was evident that beneath the scars lay a strength that could not be broken. His eyes, though often cast downward in submission, held a spark of defiance that refused to be snuffed out. In a world that sought to diminish him, he clung to his humanity, nurturing dreams that dared to soar beyond the confines of his status. As a gladiator, Spartacus faced the brutal arena, pitted against others in battles that were meant to entertain the masses and underline his own subjugation. But even amidst the blood-soaked sands, he demonstrated an uncanny skill for combat, an ability that hinted at his potential to lead, to inspire, and to forge a new destiny for himself and his fellow captives. It was not merely physical prowess that defined Spartacus, however. In the quiet moments when the moon's gentle glow kissed the city's streets, he contemplated a future that bore no resemblance to his present. His dreams were not of personal grandeur or power, but of a world where humanity triumphed over hierarchy, where the chains of slavery were replaced by the bonds of solidarity. Spartacus' bravery was not limited to his own aspirations. Despite the risks, he dared to share his dreams with others who toiled alongside him. His words were like a spark in the darkness, igniting a spark of hope in the hearts of those who had resigned themselves to their fate. Together, they began to nurture a vision that would soon lead them on a journey of defiance and liberation. In a time when obedience was demanded and dissent was punished ruthlessly, Spartacus stood as a testament to the indomitable spirit of the human soul. His story was one of resilience, of a man who refused to be defined by the circumstances into which he was born. The tale of this brave warrior would soon reverberate far beyond the walls of his confinement, carrying with it a message that would resonate through the ages, the message that even in the bleakest of circumstances, the flame of hope can burn bright, and the call for freedom can echo louder than the chains of oppression.
Chapter 2: The Dream of Freedom. Amidst the harsh reality of oppression and the clinking of chains, Spartacus clung to a dream that transcended his surroundings. It was a dream of freedom, a vision that soared above the walled confines of his existence. This dream wasn't a fleeting desire, it was a flame that burned steadily, a flame that whispered promises of a brighter world to come. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the city, Spartacus would steal moments of quiet reflection. With his fellow captives sleeping nearby, he would look up at the night sky and imagine a future unburdened by servitude. It wasn't merely a self-serving fantasy, it was a dream that encompassed the well-being of all those who suffered under the weight of chains. Spartacus envisioned a world where shackles would fall, where the concept of masters and slaves would crumble like dust in the wind. It was a world where the dignity of every person, regardless of birth or status, would be upheld. His dream was a tapestry woven with threads of unity, where the divide between captor and captive would dissolve, replaced by an understanding of shared humanity. His fellow slaves, those who had suffered in silence for far too long, found solace in Spartacus' dream. The dream was contagious,
spreading like wildfire through whispered conversations and exchanged glances. It was a whisper of hope, a promise of a future where they wouldn't merely exist as property, but as individuals with agency and worth. In the heart of every night, as the city slumbered under the weight of its inequalities, Spartacus nurtured his dream. He envisioned a world where his children, and the children of all those who suffered, would be born into freedom, not into bondage. His dream was a beacon, a guiding light that dispelled the darkness of despair. But dreams of such magnitude are not woven without sacrifice. The dream of freedom came at a cost Spartacus was willing to pay. It required not only his courage, but the courage of those who believed in him. It demanded actions that defied the norms, challenges that would test their spirits to their very core. As dawn broke, casting its gentle glow over the city's streets, Spartacus emerged from his moments of reflection with a resolve that burned as brightly as the sun. His dream of freedom wasn't a mere abstraction, it was a call to action, a call to rise against the chains that bound them all. And so, with the dream of freedom as their guide, Spartacus and his companions embarked on a journey that would soon resonate far beyond the walls that confined them, a journey that would come to define an era of courage, defiance, and the relentless pursuit of a better world.
Chapter 3: A Dangerous Plan. In the midst of whispered hopes and simmering discontent, Spartacus and his fellow slaves knew that their yearning for freedom could not remain a mere dream. It had to be transformed into a daring plan, a plan that would defy the oppressive grip of their captors and set in motion the wheels of change. Yet, they were keenly aware that this plan, though fueled by their collective desire for liberation, was fraught with danger at every turn. Gathered in the shadowy corners of their confined existence, Spartacus and his companions exchanged hushed words and determined glances. The plan was simple yet audacious: escape their captivity, rise against their oppressors, and claim their right to live as free men and women. But simplicity did not negate the risks. The journey from slavery to freedom was paved with obstacles that could spell disaster. For Spartacus and his followers, capture meant not only a return to their lives of servitude but also brutal punishments, a grim fate that hung over their heads like a storm cloud. The prospect of betrayal loomed large as well, as they had to be careful whom they trusted with their plan. Every decision was weighed against the potential cost, not just for themselves but for all those who had pinned their hopes on this audacious escape. The plan required meticulous coordination and secrecy. They mapped out routes, gathered supplies, and studied the routines of their captors. They understood that the odds were stacked against them, that their would-be captors possessed military might and discipline far beyond their own. Yet, the thought of the dream of freedom propelled them forward, igniting a fire within that was stronger than any fear or doubt. As the night sky enveloped them in its velvet embrace, the group set their plan into motion. It was a moment of reckoning, of stepping into the unknown with a conviction that resonated deep within their souls. The escape was not just a physical act, it was a declaration that they would no longer be pawns in a system that stripped them of their humanity. The very air seemed charged with anticipation as they embarked on their journey into uncertainty. Every footfall, every heartbeat, carried with it the weight of their dreams and the echoes of those who had suffered before them. Their path was illuminated by the flicker of hope, a hope that shone brighter than the stars that adorned the night sky. Spartacus and his companions understood the magnitude of their decision, the gravity of their defiance. The dangerous plan they had embarked upon was more than a mere escape. It was the catalyst that would shape their destinies and set them on a collision course with history. And so, with hearts both heavy and resolute, they ventured forth, ready to face the perils that awaited them on the road to freedom.
Chapter 4: The Escape. Under the cover of darkness, Spartacus and his companions took their first steps towards the realization of their audacious plan, a plan that would lead them from the clutches of oppression to the open expanse of possibility. The night air was pregnant with tension as they moved silently, every footfall a whisper of their determination to break free from the chains that bound them. The path they followed was not one etched on any map. It was a path of uncertainty, of hidden dangers, and unexpected twists. Each step was a gamble, a risk that carried the weight of their dreams and the weight of their lives. But these were lives that had already been defined by others for far too long, and now they were determined to carve out their own destiny. They moved as shadows, blending into the night, guided by the North Star and an unwavering resolve. The journey was grueling, demanding every ounce of their strength and every flicker of their courage. Hunger gnawed at their stomachs, fatigue tugged at their limbs, and doubt nipped at the edges of their minds. But they pressed on, driven by the beacon of freedom that gleamed in the distance. The landscape unfolded before them, a tapestry of rugged terrain, dense forests, and winding rivers. The very earth seemed to whisper secrets of the world beyond their captors' reach. They foraged for sustenance, drawing strength from the land itself. The journey was as much an exploration of the world as it was an exploration of themselves, a reclamation of their agency and an assertion of their right to live unshackled. Yet, danger lurked around every corner. Pursued by those who sought to thwart their escape, they relied on wits and intuition to evade capture. Tensions ran high, but unity fortified them. Spartacus' leadership emerged not through domination but through inspiration, as his dedication to the dream of freedom resonated deeply with each member of the group. Days blended into nights, and nights into days, as their journey carried them through valleys and over mountains. The physical and emotional toll was immense, but the collective spirit of the group remained unbroken. They discovered within themselves reserves of strength they hadn't known existed, an untapped wellspring of resilience that fueled their determination to push forward. And then, after what felt like an eternity of hardship, they beheld a sight that sent shivers down their spines, the distant glow of the horizon, the first taste of the world that awaited beyond their captivity. It was a sight that infused them with renewed vigor, a confirmation that their sacrifice, their risks, were not in vain. As the sun dipped below the horizon once more, casting a warm embrace over the land, Spartacus and his companions found themselves standing at the threshold of their new lives. The escape wasn't just a physical journey, it was a journey of the spirit, a journey that transformed them from captives to pioneers of their own destinies. Their escape was not the end, but the beginning of a chapter that would forever be etched in the annals of history as a testament to the unbreakable human spirit, and the unyielding yearning for freedom.
Chapter 5: Gathering Followers. In the wake of their daring escape, Spartacus and his companions found themselves not only on a journey of physical liberation but also on a path of profound transformation. Their steps were no longer those of isolated individuals seeking personal freedom. They were the steps of leaders whose vision kindled the flames of hope in the hearts of those they encountered. News of their defiance against the chains of slavery began to spread like wildfire, carried on the whispers of those who longed for a better life. In the midst of their wanderings, they encountered other escaped slaves, souls who had been emboldened by the tales of Spartacus' courage. These individuals were drawn not just by the promise of freedom, but by the embodiment of their shared dream in the person of Spartacus. With each new person who joined their ranks, the group transformed into something more profound than a mere collection of escapees. It became a fellowship, bound not just by the desire for personal liberation, but by a collective yearning for justice, equality, and a future where the chains of bondage were shattered for all. Spartacus, though thrust into the role of a leader, did not impose his will upon his followers. Instead, he inspired them with his unwavering commitment to their shared cause. He led not through command, but through example, a living testament to the dream they all held dear. His charisma, tempered by humility, drew others like moths to a flame, and soon, their ranks swelled with those who saw in him a beacon of possibility. As the fellowship grew, so did their sense of purpose. Together, they were not merely a band of escapees seeking refuge, they were a force to be reckoned with, a force that challenged the very foundations of the oppressive society they had left behind. Spartacus' leadership was built on respect and camaraderie, fostering an environment where each individual was valued for their strengths and their contributions to the collective. Their journey was no longer just a physical one, it was a journey of unity, of forging bonds that transcended the barriers of birth and station. They shared stories around campfires, sharing their hopes and fears, their memories and aspirations. The fellowship provided not only a haven from pursuit but also a space to nourish their dreams and find strength in their shared mission. Spartacus' ability to galvanize others was a testament to the power of a single vision, a vision that resonated with the universal longing for justice and dignity. As more joined their ranks, the fellowship evolved into a living embodiment of the dream of freedom, a dream that was no longer confined to the hearts of a few, but that spread like wildfire, igniting the hope of many. And so, amidst the trials of their journey and the challenges that lay ahead, Spartacus and his growing fellowship continued to draw strength from each other. They were bound by a common purpose, a dream that could not be extinguished by the obstacles they faced. Their unity was their greatest weapon, and their journey became a testament to the extraordinary power of shared vision and collective action.
Chapter 6: The Battle for Justice. As the fellowship led by Spartacus swelled in numbers and determination, their path became intertwined with the fate of an empire that had grown complacent in its power. The dream of freedom that had ignited within them now bore the weight of action that would challenge not only their oppressors but also the very foundations of a society built on inequality. Their journey was no longer confined to escape and survival, it was a quest for justice, a battle for the rights and dignity that had been denied to them for far too long. The Roman authorities, recognizing the threat posed by Spartacus and his growing force, responded with a force of their own, a force determined to quell the flames of rebellion before they engulfed the status quo. The battles that ensued were not merely clashes of swords and shields, They were clashes of ideology, clashes of a vision that refused to be subjugated. Spartacus and his followers fought with a fervor that could not be extinguished, for theirs was a battle that went beyond personal survival. It was a battle to shatter the chains of oppression that had held them captive. Their every strike against their oppressors was a testament to the power of collective will. They displayed a unity that spoke louder than the clang of weapons, unity that resonated with the simple truth that they were all human beings, deserving of the same rights and freedoms. Spartacus, leading from the front, became a symbol of their cause, his very presence an embodiment of their determination to rewrite their destiny. The battles were brutal and unforgiving, but the fellowship's resilience was unyielding. They faced not only the Roman legions but also the doubts that crept into their minds as the odds seemed insurmountable. Yet, every setback only fueled their resolve, every fallen comrade a reminder of the sacrifices they were willing to make for the dream that had brought them together. Spartacus' leadership was a beacon that guided them through the darkest hours. His ability to inspire, to remind them of the purpose that bound them, was a testament to his character and his unwavering belief in the righteousness of their cause. He was not a leader who commanded from a distance. He fought shoulder to shoulder with his comrades, his sword a testament to his commitment. As battles raged on and the conflict drew the attention of the empire, Spartacus' message resonated beyond the battlefield. It reached the hearts of free citizens who began to question the very fabric of their society. The struggle of the fellowship was no longer just their own, it was the struggle of all those who believed in a world where freedom and justice were not privileges but inherent rights. And so, amidst the blood-soaked fields and the clash of ideologies, Spartacus and his followers continued their battle for justice. They may not have known how their journey would end, but they knew that their struggle was more than a rebellion, it was a reckoning, a testament to the power of human courage and the unyielding spirit of those who dared to challenge the chains that sought to bind them.
Chapter 7: A Message of Hope. As the tumultuous saga of Spartacus and his followers unfolded, their battle for justice and freedom sent ripples through the fabric of Roman society and beyond. The steadfastness of their struggle, the unbreakable bond of their fellowship, and the unyielding spirit of Spartacus himself turned their rebellion into a message that resonated far beyond the fields of battle. The story of Spartacus became a beacon of hope for the oppressed and downtrodden. It was a story that whispered of possibilities, that dared to challenge the established norms and invite those who listened to imagine a different world. People from all walks of life, not just slaves, began to see in Spartacus' defiance a glimmer of a future where the chains of hierarchy would be shattered, and equality and justice would reign. The news of the rebellion spread like wildfire, carried on the lips of those who saw in Spartacus a symbol of resistance against a system that thrived on inequality. From villages to towns, from the lowest rungs of society to the echelons of power, his story was repeated, each retelling carrying with it the spark of inspiration. The very idea that a group of slaves could stand against an empire ignited flames of possibility in hearts that had long been resigned to their fate. Spartacus' message wasn't merely about fighting against an oppressive regime, it was about fighting for a vision of a world where every individual was recognized as deserving of respect and dignity. His tale transcended time and space, carrying with it the notion that change was possible, that even in the face of insurmountable odds, the human spirit could prevail. the message of hope extended beyond the bounds of Rome itself. It echoed through the ages, reaching distant shores and future generations. The story of Spartacus became a rallying cry for those who sought to challenge tyranny, to defy the odds, and to believe in the power of collective action. It became a reminder that no matter how dire the circumstances, the embers of hope could never truly be extinguished. People began to question their own roles in society, whether they perpetuated injustice or strove for change. The story of Spartacus became a mirror that reflected the moral choices of individuals, prompting them to examine their own values and their own capacity for empathy. It became a story of resilience that called upon the human spirit to rise above adversity and to never surrender to the forces that sought to oppress. And so, as the tale of Spartacus and his fellowship continued to unfold, it was more than just a story of rebellion. It was a message of hope, a call to action, and a reminder that the fight for justice is a timeless pursuit that requires courage, unity, and an unrelenting belief in the inherent worth of every individual. Through the chapters of history, Spartacus' legacy lived on as a beacon that illuminated the path towards a better world for all.
Chapter 8: Facing Challenges. The journey of Spartacus and his followers was not without its trials and tribulations. As they pressed forward in their quest for freedom and justice, they encountered challenges that tested the limits of their resilience, unity, and unwavering commitment to their cause. Their path was marked not only by physical obstacles but also by internal struggles that threatened to weaken their resolve. The challenges they faced were as varied as the terrain they traversed. Harsh weather conditions, scarce resources, and the ever-present specter of pursuit pushed them to their limits. Hunger gnawed at their bellies, exhaustion weighed down their bodies, and doubt crept into their minds. But it was in these moments of adversity that the true strength of their fellowship revealed itself. Spartacus' leadership proved essential in navigating these challenges. His ability to inspire, to infuse his companions with the same unyielding determination that burned within him, was a source of strength that never wavered. He was not just their leader, he was a pillar of support, a reminder that their struggles were shared, and their sacrifices were not in vain. Internal conflicts also emerged within the fellowship, born out of the diverse backgrounds and perspectives of its members. The tension between different ideas and priorities was a reminder that their fight was not just against an external foe, but also against the potential fractures that could threaten their unity. The task of maintaining cohesion, of reminding everyone of the bigger picture, fell to Spartacus and those who shared his vision. Yet, amidst the challenges, there were moments of camaraderie that bound them closer together. The shared laughter around campfires, the mutual support during difficult times, and the collective celebration of small victories all served to reinforce the bonds that held the fellowship together. It was a reminder that their journey was not just about the destination, it was about the shared experiences and the relationships forged along the way. The challenges they faced weren't merely physical or internal, they were also philosophical. As they encountered free citizens who were inspired by their struggle, they were confronted with questions about the nature of justice, equality, and the moral imperative to stand against oppression. These encounters were a testament to the power of their message, but they also demanded careful reflection on the principles that underpinned their fight. Through the hardships and the moments of doubt, Spartacus' leadership and the unbreakable spirit of his companions remained unwavering. Their journey was a reminder that the pursuit of justice is never an easy path, it is one that requires sacrifice, adaptability, and a commitment that withstands even the harshest of circumstances. Their ability to face challenges head-on and emerge stronger on the other side was a testament to the transformative power of unity, and the unbreakable will to bring about a better world.
Chapter 9: The Final Battle. The journey of Spartacus and his followers, marked by trials and triumphs, ebbed toward a climactic showdown, a moment that would define not only their struggle but also the legacy they would leave behind. The stage was set for the final battle, a battle that would determine whether their dream of freedom and justice would be realized or extinguished. The Roman authorities, recognizing the threat that the fellowship posed to their power, marshaled their forces for a decisive confrontation. The clash between the oppressed and the oppressors was inevitable, a collision of ideologies that would resound through history. Spartacus and his followers knew that this battle was not only about their own survival, it was about the collective hopes and aspirations of all those who had dared to dream of a different world. The battle was not merely a clash of weapons, it was a clash of determination, a clash of ideologies. The fellowship fought not only for their own liberation but for the liberation of generations yet to come. They fought for the idea that every person, regardless of their station in life, deserved to live in a world where their worth was recognized, and their rights were respected. Spartacus, at the forefront of the battle, was not just a warrior, he was a symbol of their collective will. His sword struck not only at his enemies but also at the very heart of the system that had perpetuated their suffering. His leadership was a beacon that guided them through the chaos of battle, a constant reminder of the purpose that had brought them together. The clash was fierce and unrelenting, a whirlwind of steel and determination. The fellowship's unity was their greatest strength, enabling them to stand against the might of the Roman legions. But even as they fought with unparalleled valor, they were also met with the harsh reality of warfare, the toll it took on their bodies, the lives lost, and the sacrifices made. As the battle raged on, the fellowship's resilience was tested to its limits. They faced moments of doubt, moments when the odds seemed insurmountable. But it was in these darkest moments that their determination shone the brightest. Their shared purpose, their shared dream of freedom, bound them together in an unbreakable bond. In the end, the battle reached its climax, a moment that would determine the fate of their struggle. The outcome hung in the balance, teetering between victory and defeat. The air was thick with tension, the sounds of clashing swords and the cries of warriors a symphony of defiance against the oppressive forces that sought to quell their rebellion. And then, as the dust settled and the echoes of battle faded, the fellowship emerged from the chaos, not as conquerors but as survivors, as champions of a cause that had left an indelible mark on history. The outcome of the final battle was not what they had hoped for, but their journey was far from in vain. Their legacy would live on, not only in their bravery but also in the message of hope they had carried with them. The final battle marked the end of their physical struggle, but it was also a beginning, the beginning of a legacy that would inspire generations to come. The fellowship's courage, determination, and unwavering commitment to their cause would forever serve as a reminder that the fight for justice and freedom is a battle that transcends time, a battle that can never truly be extinguished as long as there are those who dare to dream of a better world.
Chapter 10: The Legacy Lives On. The echoes of Spartacus' struggle did not fade with the final battle, they reverberated through time, carrying with them the resounding message of the Fellowship's unwavering commitment to freedom and justice. Their journey may have ended, but their legacy was just beginning, a legacy that would transcend eras, cultures, and continents. As news of the Fellowship's courage and sacrifice spread, their story became more than just a tale of rebellion. It became a rallying cry for those who sought to challenge oppression in all its forms. Their legacy was a testament to the enduring power of unity and the belief that even in the darkest of times, the spark of hope could ignite a fire of change. The legacy of Spartacus was not limited to the confines of history books, it lived on in the hearts and minds of those who heard their story. Ordinary individuals, inspired by the Fellowship's determination, took up their mantle, striving to make a difference in their own lives and the lives of others. The dream of justice and equality continued to fuel the flames of resistance, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Their legacy was not without its challenges. The tale of Spartacus faced distortion, appropriation, and selective interpretation, but the core message of their struggle endured, a message that transcended the distortions and resonated with the universal longing for a world free from the chains of oppression. The legacy of Spartacus became a touchstone for movements fighting against tyranny and advocating for human rights. The Fellowship's commitment to unity and shared purpose continued to inspire future generations to come together, to stand up against injustice, and to strive for a world where all individuals were recognized as equals. Their legacy reminded people that the fight for justice was not limited to a particular time or place. It was an ongoing endeavor that required vigilance, determination, and the unwavering belief that change was possible. Even in the face of adversity, the legacy of Spartacus endured. It was a legacy that reminded humanity that the pursuit of freedom was not a solitary endeavor, but a collective aspiration that could spark transformative change. Their story became a living testament to the idea that no matter how dark the circumstances, the flames of hope and the spirit of resistance could never truly be extinguished. And so, as the years turned into centuries, the legacy of Spartacus continued to shine as a beacon of hope, a reminder that the struggle for justice, equality, and freedom was a journey worth undertaking. Their legacy lived on as a testament to the indomitable human spirit and the enduring belief that even in the face of oppression, the pursuit of a better world could never be extinguished.